I think it's funny because in the last episode, I said we could make a whole podcast based off of the situation. And here we are making a whole episode about it.
They're kind of stuck between two evils. And I think to them, they want to pick the lesser of the evil.
I would love to see their downfall.
Who gives a fuck if they have a contract? Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Nat.
I'm Amanda.
And we are K-Junkies. And welcome back to another episode of Talk That Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, in terms of reaction-wise, honestly, there wasn't much to react to. So we're not going to have any reactions today, which is fine. But anything that extra that came out that we're not reacting to will obviously be in our K-Monthly for September. So look forward to that when September ends.
Ho, ho, ho.
Not the Green Day reference. Why did you laugh like a meme here? But we definitely have something big to talk about. But before we get to that big discussion, we're going to talk about an event that we went to yesterday.
So we were invited to do some activities at this event called K-Wave Fest that was in Miami, or more Coral Springs, Coconut Creek area. But we're just going to say it was Miami, right? And it was an event that was run by some friends that we know. And they have a little Instagram page called 𝙆-𝙀-𝙀𝙀. And they put together this little Florida K-pop convention. And it was small, but really fun. And hopefully it grows to something bigger. But we were invited to do some activities. We did one of our popular panels, which is called Let's Dance K-pop, where we do like dance mini games, which is something that anyone can really participate in. It's not just coverists and such. So it's always a really fun game. And we did some K-pop karaoke, but it was a cute event because they had like vendors there who do
it was like small businesses.
Yeah, small
like
business.
People that I actually bought this sweater from one of the vendors.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name was, but she did the art herself.
Ah.
So I had to buy it because it was super cute. But there was a lot of cute little merch stuff like BTS, Stray Kids, there was Twice, Blackpink. We bought a cute little like ceramic plate that said all the girls are girling. We had to. I was like, we need to buy that for our house.
It was a cute event. They had like stuff to do basically every hour. There was K-pop trivia. There was a special guest speaker that did a Q&A. There was a dance workshop, dance performances. There was a rave at the end, but we were too tired. We had to leave. We could not stay for that rave.
We're too old.
Yeah, but it was a fun event, and it was very reminiscent of the K-pop fan meets we used to do in the past for K-pop in USA. It was really nice because
it was fun.
It was like a small
cozy.
Small little.
It was at the Guildhall Lounge, and also a very nice place. It was basically like a gamer's place, anime stuff, and very awesome. So if you are from Florida or Miami, follow 𝙆-𝙀-𝙀𝙀, and hopefully they'll host more events soon, and hopefully we'll be there as well because we had a lot of fun, and we thank them for inviting us. All right, enough of the happy talk. Now we got some serious things to discuss.
All right.
And of course, the major thing that happened in K-pop within this week was NewJeans opening a YouTube channel just to do a secret live stream, basically airing out their thoughts and feelings about the whole HYBE versus Minhyejin discourse. I remember seeing that like come up on my Twitter, like them doing that. And I was like, no way. Like we've reached that point where the artists themselves feel like they have to talk about it because it's obviously affecting them majorly. And there's just so many things to nitpick from this. We obviously asked some of you guys as well in our community like what you guys thought about it, so we're gonna kind of go through those as well. But should we talk about our thoughts first, or should we see what the people were thinking?
Well, first of all, I think it's funny because in the last episode, I said we could make a whole podcast based off of the situation. And here we are making a whole episode about it, basically. I think before we jump into any opinions, maybe give a little insight of what exactly happened and what they said, what other people said.
Right.
Yeah.
So mind you, this is going off of like what I've read throughout the week. So my memory might be a little like iffy on certain things that might have been said. Essentially, NewJeans went live on YouTube, and like moral of like the whole synopsis of it all is basically that they want Minhyejin back as a CEO by September 25th. They gave HYBE a date and everything.
the deadline kills me because it's kind of like
It's like a ransom, yeah.
It's like a threat, like,
It's like
or what?
or what?
Because they didn't give an or what,
or what?
right?
But I feel like the or what is definitely contract termination, or they're going to sue for damages because, as some of the members had revealed, like Hani, for example, you know, all their staff is being switched out. All their Adore staff is being switched out for HYBE staff. And it's just not the same anymore. The environment is not the same. They don't feel comfortable. Hani had mentioned that a manager from another team, I'm assuming a HYBE team that passed by and saw her, were like, oh, ignore her. Like, don't greet her. And it's like, who wants to work in an environment like that? And obviously you can tell in the live stream that members were super hurt. Like, you can tell they were like, I can't believe that happened to her. And they just don't feel happy. They feel like their image and everything is Minheejin, which to some extent, yes, she was basically behind all of NewJeans, their music, their sound, their style. I feel like ultimately it is sad to see that they feel like they can't be NewJeans without her, like that she's irreplaceable. Again, we don't know how Minheejin is with NewJeans per se, like their relationship behind the scenes, because that's obviously something that we'll never know. Probably, I mean, what we're finding out right now is a lot already, like what they're spilling to us.
Yeah.
I think ultimately, in my opinion, is that the adults failed NewJeans in general. HYBE, Minheejin, like everyone has failed them, and I feel like I don't think they're being forced to talk about it. I think they themselves wanted to talk about it.
I can believe that too, because they're so young that is such a impulsive decision that a young person would do. So I believe it. I don't think they were forced to do it. They were probably like, what if we do this to, like, you know, scare HYBE a little? You know, I can see girls their age thinking that idea.
For sure. I mean,
themselves.
they're very young. I mean, some people are like, oh, it looks like they're reading scripts, but I don't think what they're reading off their screens were
might
scripts.
be notes.
I think it was notes
that they wrote.
I think it was like bullet points. Like, they obviously probably wanted to make sure they touched up on everything in that live stream because, you know, they're probably emotional. There's a lot of things they probably want to talk about. So they probably had things bullet pointed.
No, for sure. And like in situations like that, like if you ever have been put into a situation where you have all these thoughts and you have to eventually go and talk to someone about it or say it, you will forget on the spot. So it does make sense to make notes because you don't want to forget, oh, wait, I forgot about this fact that I was going to bring up or whatever, because then you'll be regretting it later. So, yeah, I do think they did it on their own. I think it was an impulsive decision on their end. Not sure if it was a good decision or not at this point. I don't know what they're threatening HYBE with. I do think the adults are the ones that failed them because they're such a young group, and like not just like the group is young and the girls are young, that they don't have the means or the mindset to be able to run themselves or go and like they do rely so much on Minheejin, which could be a double-edged sword because, you know, how long will it take for them to be able to not be codependent, maybe? But at such a young age, I can understand that you do want to have someone kind of
to rely on.
It's like having a parent.
I mean, they literally they've gone over her house, which is, you know, weird in a little bit. But,
yeah, I don't know how weird it is.
I don't think it's weird for artists to have a good relationship with their CEOs. I think if anything, that's what you want as a fan, for the CEOs to care about your idols.
Yes, but to what extent?
But to what extent, right? And then I think definitely like their codependency is a little bit of grooming on Minheejin's part because we've seen very suspicious things about her.
She's a little
she's
weird.
Not a saint. She's definitely weird. And I think like, again, there's no good side. You know what I'm saying? Like HYBE is not good, Minheejin's not good. But ultimately, like what NewJeans wants, I feel like whatever keeps them as a group, like they got to do what they got to do. If they want Minheejin back as a CEO and that's what keeps NewJeans together and that's what makes the girls happy, like not forced against, you know, like that's their happiness, then I would want them to be happy.
Well, clearly it seems like it's either Minheejin or nothing because NewJeans does not want to be NewJeans without her. Like I think they're willing to throw it all away if they can't have her back, which is really sad. And yeah, that is like a point of, that is to an extent some type of grooming. I think in this situation, as long as they feel safe with her and she is not doing anything weird to them, she's the safer option for them. Whereas HYBE is the money hungry one.
No, and they're mistreating them.
Yeah, well,
like,
yes.
Like they don't feel comfortable. I think with HYBE and like Bang PD especially, I think they're so mad that NewJeans isn't theirs.
Yes.
Like NewJeans is so big. My NewJeans came out of nowhere, attention dropped, and everyone lost their freaking minds. And clearly, even their Japanese releases chart like crazy in Korea. Like NewJeans is literally like a household name in 5th gen, 4th gen. And I think HYBE is so petty that the fact that they didn't do that. Because obviously, like groups like, well, it sucks too because groups like LE SSERAFIM and 𝐼LE and stuff are being thrown in as well into this whole chaos. LE SSERAFIM and 𝐼LE obviously are really popular too. Yeah. But I think they're mad that they're like NewJeans is just on this level and that they didn't create NewJeans and that Minheejin wants NewJeans for herself. Because we go back to the text messages of, you know, them being like, can you step on aespa? You know, like stuff, which I love how aespa is treating NewJeans in the whole situation. aespa, like they took pictures with them, they talked to them. So you can tell, I'm sure aespa knows some things we don't know. I'm
sure a lot of groups, who knows if they're who they're close
talking to. Yeah. But I'm glad that they have aespa, for example, to talk to and whatnot. And it's just funny because I think they're just that petty. Like they're that petty that they want to tear NewJeans apart essentially, and I feel like NewJeans themselves feel like they have no other choice but to either terminate contract or ask for Minheejin back, because if they just kind of like suck it up for NewJeans so that NewJeans doesn't disband, it's like, yeah, but they're not gonna be comfortable. They're gonna hate going to work. They're gonna feel like everyone's talking smack about them, like people are giving them the look and the ick and all that stuff, and like who wants to go to work like that?
Well, like, not just that, like you're just being an idol for just to be an idol just at that point, and
you're not gonna be happy
just for HYBE to make money off of you when they're the enemy in their eyes. Yeah, which I mean they are the enemy regardless. To me, they've always been the enemy, but you know, it sucks.
It's heartbreaking. Like we're like casual NewJeans listeners. Like we know the members. I honestly like all their songs. I like their album content a lot, to be honest, and. It's heartbreaking to see a girl group, well, any group, even if it was a boy group, but it sucks to see such a promising girl group, such a popular girl group have to freaking just be like, we have to do a live stream. Like, we have no other choice but to demand these things publicly so that HYBE can do something. And you've seen some, like, idols kind of thrown support. I know that one from WJSN, she put Forever with the NewJeans songs. Slay. So she's throwing support. And then we saw Jungkook, which he, on his dog's Instagram, he posted like, artists are not guilty, and he put the 5 hearts. And I think Big Hit have responded somewhat to it in a sense of like, oh, you know.
He's just saying that artists shouldn't get involved.
No, because the artists are not guilty, which is true. I'm glad someone like him is actually showing support because he, you know, he's like a big name. He's under Big Hit, which is owned by HYBE.
I mean, that message is hard to decipher because if you're really looking at it, they have no fault in this, regardless.
No, of course
not. NewJeans has zero fault. This is HYBE and Minheejin. It's nothing to do with NewJeans. So, like, he's kind of just stating the obvious in that point. It could be his vague way of showing support.
I think so. I think he wanted to be, like, subtle with it.
But there's not enough to show what he really means by it. I think at
the end it's like basically like the artists themselves, like you said, are not guilty. But I feel like, again, I think it's good because he is under HYBE too.
I was thinking too that like with all of this, it kind of makes you wonder how manipulative or kind of like abusive they could be to their own artists too, or what they are capable of. So it just like. Kind of like, it's not just NewJeans, but what about the other artists? We already know, we see that they don't care about Promise 9 for the most part. They didn't care about GFriend.
No, and HYBE's overworked.
Yes, and HYBE is not getting a break.
Literally ended a tour just to do another tour. Which I know their fandom is super pissed.
Very mad, yes.
I mean, it's the fact that they didn't even bother to protect NewJeans from the deepfakes. They were just like, we're gonna
Not our
take away
problem.
your MV director and stuff.
Yeah.
And the deepfakes are not important. What's important is screwing you guys over, essentially. And like you see it, like you see them, like even in the brand reputations, NewJeans is nowhere on that list. Like, which is weird because NewJeans is the it girl group, and it's not like they've stopped. They even almost gave them a hiatus. I don't know if you remember that statement. They were gonna take a year off or something. Like, whose decision was that? You know, it's just suspicious.
Yeah, the girls are probably like, huh?
And it's just weird too because they appointed a new CEO after they took Min Hee-jin out. And the new CEO literally called Hani a liar about the whole manager situation. Like, oh, you're lying. And then it's funny because they responded again about it. Like, we didn't find any evidence. And I'm like, oh, you're asking yourself. Like, obviously you're not going to out yourself. I don't know. It's just
evidence?
It's
so
just
dumb.
dumb. They're like, oh, we talked to the manager of the CCTV. Well, obviously you're not going to want to out yourself anyways if that really did happen. But like, they basically made her sound like she's a liar. And I'm like,
oh, yeah. I'm like, okay, so
like,
now we're gaslighting,
yeah,
right?
like I don't know what NewJeans would have to gain from lying about their situation. Like they're literally risking their whole careers.
Yeah.
For this.
Like what? There is
Because
nothing to
they're
gain.
not-
They're
yeah.
already out at the bottom with this issue. Like,
Exactly.
They don't
So,
know what's going to happen
yeah.
to them.
And then they gave like Min Hee-jin like, oh, you could be their creative director for like 2 months. Some BS like contract where obviously she didn't. She was like, no. It's crazy, honestly, witnessing this as longtime K-pop fans. Like lately, I've seen it's basically a whole thing of like idols have been starting to stand up against their companies. You know, we had like technically like the Luna boycott and the Luna members talking about BBC, and then you had Baekhyun and CBX going against SM and Omega X against their CEO after like that whole craziness. So it's like you've been seeing idols like stand, which I personally like. I feel like people are like, oh, well, they risked their careers and it was a terrible move, but like we want these idols to express themselves and speak up. But then when they speak up, everyone's like, oh, well, they sunk.
It's so
they
funny.
sunk themselves.
Like people are so wishy-washy with
They
how
are.
they feel. They're so back and forth. And like, what do you people want?
Yeah.
What do you
like
want?
I'm glad that like if they really did this out of their own free will, like I'm glad that they probably discussed it very heavily with each other and they were like, you know, we're gonna do this together. Like they were all on that live stream and they all were sticking it together, and I feel like they're all gonna leave together or like terminate together because obviously they care about each other. So
I mean, that's a positive thing you could get out of this is that the group themselves are that close.
yeah,
Like, they really
exactly.
care
Like,
about wanting to be together and
and they're like,
keeping
well,
it together.
We're gonna go down together whether we make it or not, essentially.
But
so
yeah, but like kind of how the back and forth, like I've seen a lot of mixed feelings and reactions on this, especially since we asked people their take. So like let's read some of it. I'm sure some of it is kind of similar to what we've already spoken about, but we can like touch back on that.
So the first one I have here is that the user wrote, I'm more of a casual NewJeans listener, and I'm not going to pretend I understand every detail of this situation, which is true. There's a lot of stuff has been coming out. Do I think the secret live stream was a good idea? Career-wise, probably not. Which we mentioned, like,
yeah,
really risky. It's hard for me to say, but assuming they did this on their own volition and what they said was true, I can probably understand why they felt they had to do this. Ultimately, though, I feel bad for the girls and that they are stuck in the midst of this mess between these companies full of grown adults, capitalized, that still haven't found some suitable resolution, whatever that may entail. It unfortunately also dragged other groups into the mix and spawned some absolutely needless fan wars, which is what I mentioned. Just my rusty 2 cents.
Rusty 2 cents.
Which I agree. I mean, like, again, I feel like the adults failed them, and it sucks that now you have like fandom wars.
It's so crazy
being thrown in.
How situations like this make adults so petty to act like children. They themselves, it feels like a fan war in itself.
It does.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And it's just really unprofessional.
Yeah.
Like it's like kind of like amateur. Like
it kind of
do you
feels
even know
like,
what you're doing?
It kind of feels like watching divorced parents like beef it out on national television.
It's awful.
You know what? If Jerry Springer was still alive, he would eat this up. Just throw them on Jerry Springer.
It is very divorced parent.
It is
behavior.
It is very divorced parent.
It's
behavior.
like neither of them are correct. They're both a mess. They're yelling at each other.
All right. This other user wrote, at the end of the day, I feel bad that they're stuck in the middle. I forgot they had a comeback this year because of this whole debacle and they don't deserve it. I commend them for having a live stream and saying their piece, but I'm worried that they dug a hole because that they could have made matters worse, which is stupid because they should have a say in what they want. I don't know. This whole thing is a mess, and I want nothing but the best for the members.
I do. Yeah, I agree on the comeback thing because like the era was so forgettable. Like the song, like How Sweet was good.
I like Bubblegum and How Sweet.
Bubblegum, Supernatural even.
Yeah.
Songs are good, but I just felt like when did it even get released? I don't remember anything about it. Like it just kind of happened.
It's because people now
we were so distracted by the mess that was happening because of the companies that the comeback almost didn't matter.
Yeah, because now you think of NewJeans and you think of NewJeans this year. You think the whole debacle. With
they had a
the 𝙆-𝙀𝙀 and HYBE situation. Yep. This one's very short and it made me laugh a little bit. Ask BTS and TXT. Let me just phone BTS and TXT.
Hand the phone.
Hey guys, what's going on with the NewJeans situation? You guys know?
I'm like, what do they even know?
Right?
Even then.
Well, do they even know anything?
Do they know anything?
They probably don't want to be like completely in the middle of that either. 𝙆is not a very likable person, and most people I see tend to focus on hating her so much that they mistakenly say she is not important. That NewJeans' success depends solely on the girls. Clearly, this is not the case because NewJeans is basically her creation. It's her life work, and HYBE wouldn't put so much effort into destroying her if she was that disposable. People can think whatever they want about 𝙆, and I'm not saying she is a saint, but this was never a fair fight. Bang Si-hyuk is nowadays an industry titan who likes to have the power and is not afraid to pick fights with otherwise powerful players. Let's not forget the whole 𝐷𝐸𝐾𝐿 thing. Basically, that man is not afraid. He has the means and the will to obliterate 𝙆in this case. So she and NewJeans are doing what they can. It's sad, and I don't think the outcome will be good for NewJeans. Yeah, I mean, clearly what HYBE has become, monopolizing things. I mean,
trying to be
on top,
the company, being everywhere.
which a lot of people are against. I mean, I'm against. You know, I like the groups under HYBE. I like the songs, but I don't. I want K-pop to have like everyone have its own flavor, their own companies, their own. So I hate,
and it happened so fast.
It really did. Like
it was blinked. Like BTS got popular, and he was like, "Ooh, I see an opportunity here."
And TXT came
and
around.
he was just like, "Let me grab this and grab this and this and this," and tried to grab SM, and then SM saw a red flag, and was like, "Actually, no."
It's just funny because like SM is a mess in their own accord, right? But I feel like if HYBE would have owned SM, it just would have been much worse.
Well, the thing is that, yes, SM obviously has their faults, but they're veterans. I think they know better than to like...
As much as they do.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. But like, if we're thinking about it business-wise...
Yes. Business-wise. Let's not think...
I think they were like, we're not gonna let ourselves get involved in this mess. Even though HYBE is as big as they are, I still think there's rookie mistakes in there.
Oh, for sure.
Like, acting like an amateur right now. Yeah. This whole situation.
And like I said, like, 𝙆, not a very likable person, but as I mentioned, she is a huge part of NewJeans' career, which NewJeans themselves have literally said in the live stream. So, again, it's ultimately what makes the girls happy and what hopefully won't affect them too badly to the point of disbandment. So... I don't know, HYBE. You might have to give 𝙆back. I doubt they will, though. They probably won't give in.
She also seems like someone hard to
convince.
Not convince, but like come to some type of terms with.
Compromise.
Like I don't think she's gonna.
Maybe if she doesn't want to lose NewJeans, she would compromise. But I know she wants Adore as her own company.
Yeah.
So here's the next
I don't
one.
know.
I'm not gonna sit here and be all nicey nice. NewJeans is dumb for even going live speaking about it because y'all are under a contract from HYBE, so they can literally do anything. 𝙆needs to go to jail. She's a creep. HYBE itself is a mess. Also, why is NewJeans defending 𝙆even when she called them names? Okay, so not such a nicey nice thing.
Okay, so there's a different. This is like a different response.
Approach. I wouldn't say the girls are dumb because at what point do you sit there and take the injustice?
Well, the thing is that being like, oh, they have a contract, this, whatever. They're willing to lose that. They're willing to take the clearly because they're just like it's us also, or nothing.
Like. Who gives a fuck if they have a contract? You think about all idols that have filed like contract terminations or have had to terminate their contracts for like whatever reasons, and I'm like, at the end of the day, like obviously if they have the means to pay off the lawyer and the contract, who gives a fuck if they have a contract? Does that mean they can't speak up about
your well-being's more important than your contract?
Exactly. So I'm like, I don't really see the point
they
in
clearly
that comment.
care more about themselves and
their well-being
and being able to have the person that created them than to keep this contract.
No, and they're like, oh, well, they're under contract. HYBE can do anything. HYBE is already destroying them. They might as well just go like
it's kind of like
deep in and do it.
There's no
what other options?
What else is gonna happen? Like they're already in
like
shit.
What more can they do, right? So like
basically,
yeah, HYBE,
how worse can it get?
HYBE can ruin them, but HYBE is already not making them happy. So they're probably like, who gives a damn?
They clearly are willing to give it all up.
And again, Min Hee-jin, we know is not a saint. She is weird.
We know she's a weirdo.
She's very questionable. She's said some questionable things. We had the whole shaman situation and all that stuff or whatever. And why they're defending her? Well, again, we talked about grooming. They're very codependent on her. I don't know how she treats them compared to how she's treat other people or other things that she's hidden, but they're clearly very dependent on her and they don't care. Like they want her. Whether she's committed certain things, they're young and they've been with her probably for a while. They're impressionable. Like I don't think people understand that these girls are still, they're young adults. People
realize
minors.
How easily people can be manipulated mentally, especially kids.
Yeah, especially young.
Like that. Especially since she's a woman, I feel like it was easier for them to
grow an attachment.
To become so close.
And not only
her.
like that, you're like in the idol industry. Like the idol industry is scary. There's so many like creepy men in the industry. We've seen a lot of things about like these idols being filmed while they're changing, like the upskirt filming, like just creepy stuff. And she's a woman, so they probably. Not that she can't be creepy. Again, women can be creepy.
Of course.
Yes. But
because
I don't know.
Who knows if she is? We don't know.
Exactly. I don't know how she's treated them, but clearly probably well enough that they feel comfortable with her and they want her back. Again, grooming. That happens. Kids and young adults can think that a person is a saint when they're not.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
I think in this comment, I just don't think calling NewJeans dumb is nice. Like I know they said they're not gonna be nicey nice.
They basically said that they're dumb because they're throwing away their career. Which is, that's the point. Yeah, they're not dumb for doing that. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they know what they're doing, and then they're willing to throw it away. Yep. And if you don't see that, then you're missing the point.
So the last comment we have here. I don't really like Min Hee-jin. I think she's unstable and isn't fit to be a CEO of an agency. On the other hand, HYBE seems to really hate the idea of NewJeans existing, let alone them being at the top of the industry, and these girls don't have a reason to lie about being mistreated by the company, and I believe them. But was it the right move to do this live and rebel against HYBE? I like the idea of them fighting back, but this action seems like something that would backfire. And then there's like a whole conversation going on with this. Someone saying in response to that comment, not saying they're lying and weren't mistreated, but there could be many possible reasons to lie or exaggerate mistreatment claims, e.g. to try and win public favor. They were asked to by Min Hee-jin, etc. I mean, not too long ago, 50-50 did something similar to that, faking claims. So they're talking about the 50-50 situation, which why Korea, the global stands think one thing about 50-50 and the Korean fans think one thing about 50-50. Right. Because the Korean public is more on the side of the company, whereas the international side is more on the side of the girls, like the girls that left 50-50. So they're bringing that up. They said this is different. They didn't get so popular so fast that they wanted to capitalize on it, and they're only asking to get their previous CEO back. They aren't asking for anything that would benefit them monetarily or change something in their contract to give them more money or something. So essentially, like this whole situation, or like the back and forth going on here, is them basically being like, oh well, they might be exaggerating to get Min Hee-jin back. But again, I don't see them doing all this like for anything bigger or like for public favor. Like they are having some public favor with this situation. But I don't see the girls exaggerating or lying. Like they probably just feel cornered because again, all their staff is changing. Their CEO is gone. All the environment that they were used to is gone.
It's gone, yeah.
Like, I saw videos, like, people like, oh, them with the Adore staff or whatever. And they clearly were happy and comfortable with the Adore staff. So all of that is, like, withering away. And again, I just feel like they felt like they had no other option but to speak out about it.
I don't think it's exaggerated either.
I
Like,
don't think so.
I feel like what is being claimed can very much just be true.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see... Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's exaggerated.
I mean, God forbid we wake up and it's like everything's a lie, and we're like, oh
well,
my
I
God.
mean, if it is, it is.
We'll
like,
talk about it in the next podcast.
who knows, man? We've seen crazy stuff.
I mean, we've
before.
seen crazy stuff. We
But,
have, but I would like to think that, you know,
That's not the case.
that's not the case, and that NewJeans are trying to fight for like them to be comfortable and for them to be happy as idols, because, you know, you are idols for quite some time, depending how long you renew and whatnot, and you're with that company for a long time. So I just think I like that they're fighting for it, and I just want them to be happy in the end, and for them not to disband, because it would suck
That
to
would
see a
be
top girl group
crazy.
yeah, that's what I think. Like,
But it would also just be another big girl group lost because of HYBE. And again, HYBE is evil.
yeah, moral of the story.
I don't care what anyone says. Man, if there weren't so many groups connected to HYBE, I would love to see their downfall.
Amanda has strong
I
feelings.
really hate HYBE. They were like my new generation YG.
Yeah, because Amanda also
Like,
Amanda
just
hated YG.
From my years of being a K-pop fan, I have beef with YG in the sense of like just how they managed everything and their obsession with debuting new groups and not caring about their current groups and giving their current groups the same song over and over again. So HYBE also has an obsession with debuting groups in one way or another, with their 1 million affiliations and subsidiaries and
again,
whatever.
like this has something to do with the groups themselves.
No.
Like, we listen to
It just sucks that there's so many of them connected, because as much as I want HYBE to just
fall apart.
get a taste of their own medicine, it would ruin everyone else.
And
not all the people involved.
Like HYBE is evil and we hate them, but just like the company itself and the evil people that are in HYBE, like, not the groups. The groups are, for the most part, innocent from what we know. Obviously, we don't know anything because we don't know idols personally. Clearly, the whole tail thing was a jump scare. But the artists, they're there to do their job, and the company is what's managing them. So we have, beef with HYBE, and we'll see what happens. Obviously, the more that this updates, the more that things come out, we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it here with you guys. And yeah, I think just to tie it up with our opinions, at the end of the day, we just want the girls to be happy
and safe,
happy, and not disbanded.
And at the end of the day, I also don't know who is the more evil in terms of like what you think is evil, like, because it could be it's a hard thing to,
it's not black and white
to decipher and to pick at, because it's like, grooming's weird. And she's weird, and we know she's weird, and that she's got weird obsessions of girls and
young people
and dolly stuff. Hopefully she's not doing anything to them or making them do things.
I hope not.
I don't ever want to know.
It also sucks because sometimes you are stuck between two evils. Like, sometimes you have...
It sucks.
Like, I feel like in NewJeans' situation, specifically, like, looking at their choices, they really don't have another choice. They're not like a veteran group that can just have their own company. They're not Highlight.
Exactly.
They can't just leave and be like, all right, we're going to start our own thing.
They're too...
Like, I don't know how much money they have.
They're too codependent.
They are.
I don't think they know how to manage themselves.
I don't think so either.
They're so dependent on her.
So they're kind of stuck between two evils, and I think to them, they want to pick the lesser to them. Lesser of the evil to them. I don't know anything about Minheejin personally. I don't know anything about HYBE personally. This is only through the eyes of what I see on Twitter, what the girls have said, what people have made threads of. But to them, Minheejin is the lesser of the evil. So, yeah, I think we're gonna end that conversation here. But we definitely will be talking about it. The more it updates, the more that new things.
It's gonna be an ongoing thing for a while.
Yeah, I think so too. Unless, we'll see September 25th.
The threat. I'm so curious.
If they don't get Minheejin back, what are we going to see? Are
The
we going
ransom
to
note.
see? It does feel like a ransom. Are we going to see NewJeans filing contract termination? That'll be the next
Insane
thing,
yes.
which will be a crazy way to start ending this year in K-pop, is the NewJeans thing. So let us know what you guys think about it. Did you guys agree with some of our points? Did you disagree with some of our points? Did you agree with some of the comments we read? Did you disagree with some of the comments we read? Let us know what you guys think. This is a very heavy topic, and I think we talked a lot. I don't even know if we covered everything, but
Probably not. We needed to take notes too.
But just
like they did.
Yeah, honestly. But this is just from obviously what we saw on Twitter and what we have discussed throughout the couple of days before we filmed this podcast episode. So.
To finish this episode, let's do our Throwback Tuesday song recommendations. Yay.
So my throwback song is Nugu. It's a Nugu boy group that I hold very special into my heart.
Ajax?
No, it's not Ajax, but Ajax should have one next time. No, my throwback song recommendation is My Name with Message, which is their debut. And I was all over that when it came out. It was my message tone at one point in high school. And I love My Name. They're a boy group that I still miss a lot, and I listen to their music, their Japanese songs as well. So I definitely recommend it. I think it's still a great debut, great choreo, great styling, and
Styling?
yeah,
I don't know about great.
Rig-a-ding dong, ho.
Yeah, so I was like, if it's not Ajax, it's My Name.
Also, just a quick note though, I know you had mentioned Mr. in our previous as a throwback
that should have
song.
been brought up earlier.
That should have, but SM is debuting a new idol boy group called Mitro, and Mr. member Tae is in it. And Tae was my bias, and we loved Mr. So we're so happy for him, so excited. He is already my bias for that group because that is Tae.
I can't believe I'm gonna stan a Trot group
And it's gonna have Tae in it.
just because Tae is in it.
I can't believe my man is not gonna be Nugu anymore.
That is just crazy to me.
I needed to slip that in there. I needed to slip that in there because
I'm gonna cry.
Tae is my bias, and I can't believe he's re-debuting under SM. Anywho, go.
Anyway, my throwback recommendation is Out of My Mind by 𝙆𝙪𝙧. It is a B-side on their debut EP. And I rediscovered it recently. And it keeps showing up on my shuffle. So I'm just like,
honestly, a
really
good
good
throwback too, considering how amazing 𝙆𝙪 is.
yeah, I was like the little a little shout out to 𝙆𝙪.
Yeah, multiple
there.
songs on with all kills, and
Good for
they're
them.
just living their best life right now. And it took them a while, but good for them. They're getting that success. Bands don't get success that often.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see 𝙆𝙪 finally getting what they deserve.
Out of My Mind by 𝙆𝙪. Good song.
Good song.
I do like a lot of their B-sides.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching our Talk That Tuesday episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it and that you stick around for more to come.
Yes, so make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on new episodes of Talk That, as well as games and K-Monthly and any other videos that we might put out. And make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram, which is @K.Junkies.
Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Bye.